Greetings and welcome to Life Beyond the Meeple number 2 supplementary video. I didn't really give you a full idea of what Skull and Roses is like and how it plays, so I thought I would just give you a very brief overview of how the game plays by playing out a sample round. We're going to play the part of the snakes and we have 3 opponents. The first thing you do in the challenge is everyone chooses and places one of their coasters face down on their mat. I have chosen a rose, though nobody else knows that, and I don't know what the other people have chosen. Okay, then the first player starts the process. We're going to assume that the first player is the Swallows. It's always the person who undertook the previous challenge, whether they won or not. And I'm going to assume that the Swallows did win the previous challenge, which is why their mat shows roses. Everyone starts on the Skull side. When you win one challenge, you flip it over to show you've won one challenge. You only need 2 to win the game, so the Swallows are in a strong position. It's their turn to start, and what you do on your turn is either place a coaster or start the bidding. So they're going to place another coaster. Amazon's turn. They're going to place another coaster. My turn. I'm going to start the bidding, okay? The bidding can start at any number, and what it represents is how many coasters I can turn over, but I have to start with all my own coasters. Now this, I know, is a rose, so I'm safe turning that over. The others are a bit of guesswork. But I'm going to start the bidding at 2. I'm going to use a couple of tokens. This is just to help the explanation. These tokens don't come in the game and you don't play with them normally, but that's just to remind you I have bid 2. The Eagle's turn, you now place no more coasters. Placing coasters is finished. We're on to the bidding now. The Eagles immediately passes, and you indicate that by just pushing your mat into the middle. That shows you're not taking part in the bidding. Swallows ups the bidding. He's going to bid 3. Again, I'm just using tokens to represent that and to remind you. Amazons immediately, without pause, pushes their mat in to show they've passed. Now it's my turn again. What am I going to do? Do I pass and allow the Swallows to take the challenge? They're only trying to turn over 3, and it's quite possible that those 2 that they have are roses. They only have to find another rose, and they might go for mine, thinking that mine is a rose. On the other hand, they could be bluffing. Maybe one of these is a skull, and they're not really wanting to take up the challenge. They're trying to force me to bid higher. But I don't know. Well, in this case, I can't risk them taking the challenge and winning, because they would win the game. So I'm going to keep bidding. I'm going to go up to 4 with my bidding. I'm going to say I can turn over 4 coasters. Eagles have already passed. Swallows, this time, they pass. They give a little smile and push that forward. So I'm the only one left. The challenge is on. I have to turn over 4. Let's get rid of those because they're nothing to do with the game. That was just to help you understand the explanation. First of all, I must turn over everything in front of me. It's a rose. 1 down, 3 to go. Now, I can turn over any of these top ones. I can't turn over the second one before I've turned over the top one. I've got to find 3 more. Was the Swallows bluffing? Are they both roses? Because if they are, that will get me well on the way. What about the Amazons? They didn't enter the bidding. Maybe they've put a skull down, and I need to be wary of those. Ditto the Eagles. He didn't even attempt to enter the bidding, so maybe that's a skull. Now, for the sake of the game, I've actually dealt all these randomly. I don't actually know what these cards are. So I've turned 1. I'm going to go for the Swallows. Roses, yes. 2 more to go. I could turn over this one. I think I'm going to turn over the Amazons. If the Amazons has a skull, it can only be one of the 2. It might be the bottom. Let's go for the Amazons. Yes! One more to go. What's it going to be? I'm going to assume that the Swallows wasn't bluffing. I'm going to turn over the final card. Oh, it's a skull. So I lose. Now what happens when you lose? Well, first of all, everyone takes back their coasters. The unrevealed ones stay unrevealed. You can, if you like, reveal it yourself. The Eagles could reveal this and gloat and say, look, you should have turned mine over, it's a rose, and show me. But he doesn't have to do that. He can keep that secret. We will never know what the Eagles' strategy was. We'll never know what he played. So everyone takes back their coasters. I take back my coaster, but now I have to shuffle them up, and the player whose skull I turned over, the Swallows, gets to pick one of these coasters at random, that one, and discard it face down back into the box. So I now only have 3 coasters. Nobody else knows which has been discarded. I do. It's a rose. I've still got my skull, but nobody else knows that. If you turn over a skull on your own position first, then you get to choose which you discard. And that's Skull and Roses. Great game of bluffing. Great game of bluffing.